Okay, okay, okay. I'm carrying on. Thanks. Okay, some people who was hosting me says we can carry on. Sorry for that. I was just a bit nervous. So the background to this workshop is for people that have never played the game before, that wants to know how the mechanisms work and some of the tricks in the game. Please note, I'm not here to share solutions for all the levels for people that want to win the tournament, so don't be disappointed. The game that I'll be using to teach you the mechanisms is the Rangers game. But we have 5 other games. Um, so if you understand Rangers game, the same tools, the same tokens are being used. The only thing that differs is the action between the games, and that is in the help. So this game can only be played if you have the physical puzzle pieces. I will be using tokens on the screen this afternoon, but it's the same as packing the puzzle pieces. Okay, so the first thing you need to do to play the game, and if you feel rushed, we are recording this. It should be on YouTube sometime tomorrow, is to download the app called Tangible Games. Now, I know we have a lot of other apps. Don't get confused. The one you need for this workshop is Tangible Games. You don't need to do it now, but you're welcome. It's on Google Play Store as well as iStore. So once you've downloaded the app, you will be able to play. On the Play Store, it should look like this, Tangible Games Education. If you do find it, download the app onto your phone. If it's not there, the sad news is that your phone is probably not compatible. We try our best to be compatible to as many as possible models, but it could be that your phone might be too low range or there's something else. And at this stage, there's nothing we can do if your phone is not compatible. Sorry for that, but that should be the minimum of people with having that problem. Once you've downloaded the app, you should see the tangibles token on your screen at the bottom right. The old tangible logo that says demystify coding, and that will be your token on your app, on your phone, to play the app. When you're inside the app, you will see you can scroll up and down through our different games. There's 6 games: Rangers, Speed Stars, Code Cup, Changemaker. There's 2 others: Juicy Gems and another one. The one that we are looking at today, and if you watch this video again, is called Rangers. So I'm going to take you through some of the levels of Rangers. So just the idea behind Rangers, this is not a level in the app, but just so that you know what you need to do every time you complete a level in Rangers. You will have a poacher's car, not a poacher, a ranger car, and you will have a poacher that you need to catch. Now, if in order for you to catch or shoot the net at the poacher, you need to move your car so that it points towards the poacher, like you see now. Very important to note that the car does not need to be at the poacher. You can throw the net over a distance. So in this case, you just need to throw the net. There's nothing else you need to do with the car. So the tokens that you will have in your pack, you always must use the start token. And the only thing you need to do in this level, as you see it now, is action. So action should throw the net towards the poacher. You take a photo, you'll see there's a little camera icon you can click on. Once you've clicked on the camera icon, the tokens that you have on your desk that you've packed out should be displayed on your screen. If they are the same, you say yes. If they are not, you say no, so that you can retake your photo. So if they are there and you can see them on the screen, you say yes. If your tokens are not recognized, that means they don't show on the screen, there's a few things that could be wrong. The most common thing these days is with good cameras is that you're holding your camera too close to the tokens. Go slightly higher. Further away is often much better than closer. It does help to have a dark background, although it doesn't really play. So don't play on a white table with a glare. or on a tablecloth that has bright flowers. That could cause problems. A dark single background is the best. And it sometimes causes problems if you're in a venue with very bright neon lights. We often find that natural sunlight, even coming through the window, you might feel it's a bit dark, is the best. Okay, so once you've taken your photo and it shows on the screen and you say, yes, this should happen, you will see a net being thrown towards the poacher and it catches the poacher. So I'm going to do one more easy level and then we're going to go into the more tricky ones. So if we look at, and please note, these are not levels in ranges. I'm just showing the logic. So if we look at the car now, the car's pointing, let's say, down. So for the car to be able to catch the poacher, it's got to move forward once. Then it's got to turn left. Then it's pointing towards the poacher and then your action so that you can catch the poacher. So move forward, turn left, action. So these tokens are the ones that you pack out on your tablecloth or on your table and you take a photo. Very important to note, I've often seen this. People think they must just carry on with the code they've done in the previous level. You always start fresh. You always start with a green start. Often action is your last token because you throw the net and you take a photo of it. And you don't take photos of portions of the code. You need to pack out your whole code to finish the challenge. Okay, let's get to slightly more difficult ones, and I'm going into off presentation mode. Okay, I don't know why screen sharing has stopped. Okay, so I trust I'm sharing again. So I'm in presentation mode so that I can move around my tokens. So if we look at this solution, your car is up here. The solution I'm going to do, I'm going to show you, I'm going to start with the start. I'm going to turn right. So the car will now be pointing upwards. And then I'm going to show you a little trick that you don't need now, but you need it later on. When you play this game, you will have only 3 move forwards. It's illegal to go and take other move forwards from other pack because when you participate in tournaments, etc., you will be disqualified if you use more than 3 move forwards. So in this case, the car moves right. The obvious thing would be to turn left and move forward, which will work. But I just want to show you the other alternative of doing it if you had run out of move forwards. The trick is to turn right. So the car's pointing the wrong direction. And then you just reverse, move backwards. No, I'm wrong. After you've turned right at the start, you obviously need to move forward. So you go into the next row. Then you say turn right. The car's pointing towards the right in this row. And then you move backwards twice. Okay, so you move backwards twice. So the car will be above the poacher. You need to turn right so that you can point towards the poacher. And then you action. You throw the net. So the car will go up, show the wrong way, move backwards, turn right, point towards the poacher, and you say action. I hope that works and that you understand that. These lines here and the rhino, you will see stuff happening on the screen, but it's normally not really serious. It's just to add some fun. What it does, it takes the poacher closer and closer to the rhino, so you try to catch it in time. Okay, right. Up to level 10 in ranges, you can do all the solutions by using the move right, move left, forward, backwards, and action tokens, and obviously start. From level 11 onwards, you need to use the repeat structure, the repeat token, which allows you to repeat something more than once. So the choices that you have in repeating is repeat 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times, and infinitely. I'll get to the infinite now. So if you look at this piece of code that I've given you here, the repeat is in the middle. Below the repeat, it says how many times you want to repeat something. And on top of the repeat, it says what you want to repeat. So if I just want to bring the start in from the other one. So if I put the start here, that's what this code will look like. So I start, then I go into the repeat, and the car will move forward 3 times. I trust you understand what I'm saying. Just want to take it back quickly. Oh, it is there. Okay, so this code will move the car forward 3 times. Ignore the photos of the tokens, that's just to show you. So let's see whether you can give me an answer in the chat. This is a repeat, but the way the repeat works, that everything you put on top of the repeat is moved forward. Is repeated whatever's at the bottom. So if you look at this code, I'm going to go to the chat. Is there someone that wants to tell me how many times you think the car will move forward? In the Q&A, sorry. Okay, so we're not allowing for... Okay, so that's not important. So you can think on your own now, how many times do you think the car will move forward? So what we've done is we've put 2 move forwards on top of the repeat. So that is the highlighted part, is the number of times that is the thing that will be repeated 3 times. So in this case, it's 3 times 2. So the car will be moving forward 6 times. Okay, this is a real level. I think this is real level 11 in ranges. So if you look at the car, it's pointing upwards. So it needs to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times forward, then turn right, and then action. So we start with the start token. To move 5 times forward, we need the repeat. So we say repeat. What do we want to, how many times do we want to repeat something? We want to repeat it 5 times. And what are we repeating? We're repeating move forward. Very important to note that this is what you need for the repeat. After you've moved 5 times forward, you then turn right. But people sometimes get it wrong and they put the turn right up there. If you put it up there, it means you want to move forward and turn right 5 times. But after you've moved forward 5 times, you can put the turn right at the here. So it starts, it does the repeat loop, then it goes to the turn right. So the car will now point to the poacher, and you can action the net. You can throw the net. Okay. So just a mistake that people sometimes make. What we want to repeat is to move forward 5 times. So we can't then carry on top here as if we want to do that. Everything we put on top here is repeated, and clearly we don't want to. So we repeat 5 times and then we carry on with the code down here. Okay, so let's look at this problem. And I've given you the solution. How does this work? If you count the number of times here, the car needs to move forward 12 times, then turn right, and action. So what we do is we say the part that's being repeated, in coding we call it the body of the loop, is 3 move forwards. So if we repeat 3 move forwards 4 times, it moves forward 12 times. Okay? It will take the car to above the poacher, then we turn right, and we throw the net. So it's very important to understand this concept of what is being repeated. It's everything we put on top of the repeat. And once we've done the repeat, we carry on with the code. Okay, now we're getting to some kind of more complicated examples. This is coding level 12, which is probably one of the most interesting levels in the game. If you can master level 12 in the correct way, your doors open for the next 10, 15 levels that you will be able to solve. So what we want to start off with is saying the right solution, there are other solutions, is to take the car from where it is, from where it is, it moves to the right, turns right, moves down here, turns right, carries on here, turns right, and throws the net. So we notice that the path is actually divided into three, the solution is divided into three parts. So we say to ourselves, what code would I need, just looking at it, to get the car from the left-hand picture to the right-hand picture? So it needs to move forward 5 times and turn right. And that is the code. So if I say start, repeat, move forward 5 times and turn right, I will have the car where we are on the right-hand side. But there's another way of doing a loop. We call this a loop, where things are being repeated. The other way of doing a loop, the first repeat loop is I count the number of steps. There's 5 steps, and I move forward 5 times. But the while loop makes it slightly easier for me. Instead of counting the blocks, I say I want to move until I hit a wall. So while my path is clear, move forward. Then I don't really need to count the blocks. So the code for that is like this. It's also like the repeat in the middle. What's being repeated is on top. But the while says, while my path is clear, move forward. So that will take my car to move until it hits the wall. And then after it's hit the wall, after it's done the while loop, it turns right. Okay. I hope you understand this, because we're going slightly more complicated now. Before I want to go further in solving this level, in ranges and all our games, you need to understand the concept of a nested loop. One loop within another loop. So if we look here, we start with a start token. We go into the repeat. There isn't a ×2, but I just did it for fun now. So we say something is being repeated 2 times. So the question is, what is being repeated 2 times? The thing on top. And in this case, it's another repeat loop that repeats the move forward 3 times. So if we just look at the body of the loop at the top, the car will move forward 3 times. If we repeat that 2 times, I hope you can see that the car will move forward 6 times. This is called a nested loop, or encoding a nested construct, but it's one loop within another loop. Okay, so how do we use this concept to solve level 12? So if you clearly look at level 12, the car will move, turn right, it will move, turn right, it will, while it doesn't hit a wall, move forward and turn right, and then it will be there. So I hope you can all see that this piece of code, while path is clear, move forward and then turn right, needs to be done 3 times to get the car in the bottom left-hand corner. It moves until it hits a wall and turn right. So that's the first time. Moves until it hits the wall, turn right. That's the second time. Moves until it hits the wall, turn right. That's the third time. Okay, so how would I do that using a loop after what I've just shown you in the previous slide? So I say, I want to repeat this thing 3 times. How do I repeat it 3 times? I put it on top of a repeat, and I say I must repeat it 3 times. And then obviously the start is just here. Now I'm very much aware that we're into quite complicated coding here, but this is the kind of coding that your kids will need to know if you want to get your learners. It's easy to get them into the nationals. They just need to win in your school. But once they're competing at national level and they want to compete against the whole country, this kind of code they need to practice, putting one loop inside the other. So just to do some revision, we notice that for the car to go from here to here, this piece of code needs to be done 3 times. While the path is clear, move forward, hit the wall, turn right. While the path is clear, move forward, hit the wall, turn right. While the path is clear, move forward, hit the wall, turn right. So in order for me to repeat that 3 times, I put it on top of a repeat. I say I want to repeat it 3 times, and then obviously I need to start with a start. Okay, and you will have the correct tokens in a game pack to do this. And then how would we, obviously we want to catch the poacher in the end. So I want us to think about this solution. Notice where I've put the action. I've put the action on top of turn right. So what we discussed earlier, that means this whole block is repeated 3 times. So what is going to happen here is that your car is going to move until it hits the wall, turn right, and then throw a net. That's wasted. Then it will move forward again while the path is clear, turn right, and throw the net, which won't help any much because there's no poacher to catch. Then it will move forward, turn right, and on the 3rd time when it throws the net, it will actually catch the poacher. The way to solve this, to make, because now you're throwing twice that you don't need, is to see that if I take that action up there and I bring it down here, it will move the 3 paths, point to the poacher, it's finished with a repeat loop, and then it just actions at the end. So this action happens after the repeat and the while loop. Okay. We are nearly done actually, so this is now really higher grade coding. So in this example, the car needs to move forward, turn right, and then catch 4 poachers. I just wanted to show you that you can even put any code in the repeat part, in the part that's being repeated. So the car moves forward, it turns right, and then I say 4 times action. So it will catch the 4 poachers. Okay. This is the second last new principle. If you really want to go to level 30 and you want to get your kids there, you need to understand, we call it the infinite loop and early termination. So if you understand the concept of an infinite loop, that is a loop that never stops, infinity. So just notice it should be action, not shoot. So if you read this as a human and you don't understand the game, it's just going to keep on throwing the net and never stop. Okay? But we've got a principle in Rangers and most of our games that as soon as you've caught all 4 game poachers, the game will stop. So the code won't go on infinitely. It's called early termination. And most of the other games also have an early termination concept, which you'll see when you read the help of that specific game. So although the net is actioned infinitely, it will catch the first poacher, catch the second poacher, catch the third, catch the 4th. And when it sees that there's no poachers left in the game, it will stop. It won't keep on throwing nets. It's called the infinite early termination of an infinite loop. And this trick you need from about level 15 upwards. If you don't understand this trick, you're not going to be able to finish all 30 levels. The last concept is the concept of putting an if statement inside an infinite loop. So an if statement inside an infinite loop. So the part that I've highlighted in the block is the logic that happens infinitely. Keeping in mind, there is the early termination. So let's follow this logic. So every time this is repeated, the ranger's car says, is my path blocked? Is path blocked? If the answer is no, that means there's nothing in front of me. The ranger moves forward once. If the path is blocked, that means he can't move forward. Then you can choose what to do. You can always choose what to do on both sides. But this code says, if my path is blocked, turn right and action. Okay. So if we look at these two challenges, on the left is the one that we discussed just now, level 12. On the right is just a level I thought up. So if you look at this code, which says infinitely, if my path is blocked, if my path is not blocked, I can just move forward. If my path is blocked, I must turn right. Which of these two challenges are solved by this code? If you can see that, you understand the if statement. So the trick is up on the left branch here. It says, if the path is blocked, I turn right and I action, which is correct. I'll move till I hit the wall and I'll turn right and action. And notice this question is asked repeatedly until the game stops. Okay. Can we just think about this solution here? And that's the last trick. No, I've got something else. Can I just go and find, I'm missing a token here. I'm missing the turn left. Sorry, something wrong with my code. Now, for my bad luck, there won't be a turn left. Okay, I'm just going to steal one from this slide. Apologies for that. So if you're in this code that I've given you, and we put action up here, can you see that this code will not work for this solution, for this challenge, because it's going to move forward while the path is clear or not blocked, and then it's going to want to turn left, but we've told it, I'm going to get it right, we've told it to move right. So to solve this one, I need to remove the right, and I've just put in this token now, and I've replaced the right with a turn left. Okay, it's not very symmetric, but you get the idea. So when my path is blocked, I turn left and I action. I turn left and I action. Okay. Last trick, and then we're done with the complicated coding. If I go and put the action down here, remember last time when we did this, we said it's better because the way we do it with the action up there is we are throwing the net 3 times and we only need to throw it at the end. But the problem by putting the action down here is we've got an infinite loop that can only be terminated once all the poachers are caught. So if you remove the action from the if statement, it's going to go on infinitely because it will never catch the poacher. Although it makes sense to only catch the poacher at the end, the way the infinite loop works, it only terminates once all the poachers are caught. So this is a wrong solution. We need to have the action, in a nested loop, infinite nested loop. Otherwise, the infinite repeat loop will never stop. Okay. I've got a few last slides, but this is all the mechanisms in the code. If you know these mechanisms, you should have the tools to finish all 30. But I've got to highlight that the levels become more and more challenging. And remember, your team is competing to become world champs on the 5th of November. So they really need to practice this and sit down and be good enough to go past the nationals into the World Cup. And then into the World Cup, become the winner over 40 countries. So it's not easy. But with all these suggestions and problem-solving techniques, if your learners spend enough time, they should be able to get to level 30. I've already said this. If you want to play the other games, intangible games, there's 6 of them listed. They all use the same tokens. They all use the same logic. The only thing that differs is the action. For example, in Code Cup, action is kicking towards the net, kicking the ball into the net. And they all differ on the early termination with the infinite loop. You need to read the help screen in that game to find out what action means and what early termination means in that specific game. I want to finish off with a fun activity. Everything that we do in Tangible is based on teaching kids computational thinking. In general language, that is the process that you need to solve a problem. Okay. So computational thinking has 4 different aspects to it. There's algorithm, I'll discuss that. Decomposition, taking a problem, breaking it into smaller parts. Pattern recognition, seeing whether in the problem there's stuff that's being repeated. And abstraction, looking at the challenge, the level, and saying, which part of this level is irrelevant for the solution? So remove the stuff that is not important to find the solution. So, and we keep on saying this is a real life skill that helps everyone. So if you look at this thing, and we've got these 4 components, the first thing that you would do without really thinking about it, and in life it happens if you're trained, is the concept of abstraction. All these hurdles, obstacles, walls on the left and the right-hand side have nothing to do with the solution. So you might not think about this, but your mind will do it automatically. In some of the games, you need to think about it. Abstraction is removing everything that's not needed for the solution. The second thing that you will be doing is to notice, but this, remember just the level we did, level 12, is very similar. Notice that this problem is divided into 3 parts. Level 12 was the same. So the solution or the problem is divided into 3 components. The solution has 3 components to it, and that's called decomposition. So by doing this level, you decompose the root to the end into 3 parts. Once you've done the decomposition, or you've just done it in level 12, you will notice that every part is moving until you hit a wall and turn right. That's repeated 3 times. And in coding, in computational thinking, that is pattern recognition, a very important skill for maths, for example. So the ability to notice a pattern. And once you've noticed a pattern, you put that thing which is repeated into a repeat loop. And that is the final solution, which is called algorithm. In real life, we would call it, write down a list of instructions that helps me to solve the problem. And this solution is given by this code, and in coding language and computational language, this is referred to as algorithm. You will again notice, we go back quickly. You will again notice that we've put the shoot or the action on top here, which is not a good solution in this case, because it's going to shoot 3 times and we only need to shoot at the end. So the best solution would be to take the shoot or the action and put it down at the bottom here after the repeat. Okay, so in this case, you have a repeat loop, and inside the repeat loop, another repeat loop. Okay. For those of you that are interested in the theory of coding or the theory of problem-based learning, if you read the curriculum from grade 4 upwards, even foundation phase, the coding and robotics curriculum, this is what is problem-based learning is defined as in the curriculum and as a general concept: to understand the problem, to analyze the problem, to break it into smaller parts, to look for patterns, to develop a higher solution. So you would say in English, okay, it needs to move forward, hit a wall, turn right, and that needs to be done 3 times. That's a high level solution. The detailed algorithm is where you go and you pack out the actual code, and then you take a photo, you execute, and you'll see whether the solution works or not. If it doesn't work, you need to debug. You need to go back to your code and fix it. This is the concept of problem-based learning in the coding robotics curriculum, and your kids will be doing all of this when they're playing our games. One last thing, we cannot, for grade 4 upwards, we cannot implement the full coding curriculum, but the important things that are listed, you'll see in the curriculum that talk about coding components or concepts, concept of an algorithm, of a sequence, of a loop, and of conditional statements. That is done. The if statement is done in the coding. There are a few things in the curriculum that we, at this stage, cannot yet do with our games. We are busy revising the game. So hopefully by January, we'll have a game that will cover most of the concepts in the curriculum. Okay, that is it. I'm not going to leave open for questions now. You're more than welcome to email info@leverfoundation.org. Or if you really want to, you can just put up your hand and unmute. I'm not sure whether you can do that, but that normally doesn't work as practical. Or you can email me. You've got the Zoom link from my email. You can email me now whenever and ask me questions and I will respond. Or maybe add a FAQ list of questions I received by 6 o'clock. Send it to everyone. This session has been recorded. And so we hope to put it on YouTube tomorrow. Then everyone that is registered will be able to watch the video afterwards. Okay, that's all from me. Just a repetition of the use of this workshop. It's for schools that have never played the game. You have till the 18th of August, if you ordered game packs, to have your own little tournament. They don't need to be brilliant. You just need to choose your winning team. Your winning team will go through to the nationals. I think it's the 3rd or the 4th of September. And there, if you really want to win, your learners need to understand all these concepts and need to be able, I think, go up to level 30. We normally choose a big South African squad, and then you go through to the national. I'll listen to you now. Then you go through to the nationals, the World Cup. And there your team needs to be really, really brilliant. You don't become the world champions by not being brilliant. Any questions?
Hello, sir. How are you?
Fine. Welcome.
I'm good. I'm good. I just wanted to know if ever you're going to share this recording because I was experiencing some technical problems here. So may you kindly share the recordings, please?
Yeah. Simpiwe has recorded it. She will download it, and hopefully by tomorrow I will be able to add it to YouTube. So, and then we'll send the link to everyone that registered. So by tomorrow lunchtime, you should be able to have a link to the YouTube recording of this session.
Okay, thank you so much, sir.
I see a hand. If you want to speak, just speak. Okay. Then just a reminder, the tournament is the one part. Go ahead.
Sorry to disturb. If somebody wants to speak, they actually have to raise their hand so that we can unmute them.
Okay. Is there anyone that wants to talk, Simpiwe?
No, we don't have hands now.
Okay. Okay, so but you can reply to my email that I sent just now and this morning and ask questions. Just a reminder, this is all part of Coding for Africa that runs until the 18th of August. So we basically have next week left. And the tournament part is one part of Coding for Africa. There's also the interactive activities, but I think you all attended the session last week. If you want to see the bigger picture of Coding for Africa, and you don't think you've got time now to get the tournament working, there's a lot of other fun activities your kids can do, learners can do. You submit them, and there's the big prize this year. It won't be a lucky draw. It will be the teacher or school that has shown the most excitement during Coding for Africa. Our gala dinner is on the 11th of November at Amazon headquarters in Cape Town. So we're going to choose one teacher that will pay your flight, your accommodation, and attending the gala dinner, which is a very, very nice event. So there's some incentive. For the coding tournament, the incentive is to get your team into the nationals, to win the nationals, and get your team into the World Champs.